I signed a YouTuber for $20,000. And on paper, he looked perfect. Every single time we searched for anything related to our product on YouTube, his videos were right there at the top. Great engagement, real niche fit. So we paid the $20,000. He just didn't perform. The ROI was terrible. Then a few months later, an agency offered us the exact same creator for $7,000. Same influencer, same channel, a third of the price. And here's the part that still bugs me. At $7,000, the math would have actually worked. So today I want to walk you through how I vet and price influencers so you never make the $13,000 mistake I made. So here's the thing that took me years to really get. Vetting and pricing influencers is not two different jobs. They're the exact same job. The reason I overpaid that YouTuber by $13,000 is the same reason a lot of brands overpay. We vetted him on the wrong signals. We looked at his subscriber count and we looked at his most viral videos. And we went, wow, this guy is huge. And then we priced him off that exact same feeling. But subscribers don't buy your product. His average viewers do. And his average video wasn't pulling anywhere near his viral ones. So how you vet a creator should decide what you pay them. If you get the vetting right, the pricing almost always figures itself out. Let me show you my actual process. Vetting first, then pricing. Okay, so where do I start? I want to say something that's going to sound super boring, but it matters. I do most of this manually. There are a million different tools that will sell you an influencer audit, and some of them are fine, but honestly, the most important read you'll ever get is just you going through their profile with your own eyes. So the very first thing I do is open their profile and I just look at the content. The style, the quality, does it actually feel like a fit for the brand? Or am I forcing it? Then I look at the reach and the followers. And this is key. It's not about the number of followers, it's about the proportion. I want to see how their reach and their engagement stack up against the size of their following. A creator with 30,000 followers pulling huge reach and real conversation in the comments is way more interesting than someone with 300,000 followers and crickets. And then the comments, not just how many, but the quality. Are people actually having a conversation about the content? Or is it the same 15 accounts dropping heart emojis and flames on every single post? Because that right there is one of the biggest red flags I still see constantly. Pods, engagement pods. It's a group of creators who agree to like and comment on each other's stuff to game the algorithm. And it makes the engagement rate look amazing, but it's fake. Those aren't buyers. Those are other influencers doing each other a favor. So how do I spot a pod? The comments don't match the content. Someone posts something serious and meaningful, and the comments are all, love this, so good, with nothing actually about the topic. Or it's the same cluster of accounts every time. Once you start looking for it, you cannot unsee it. All right, so once the profile passed the eye test, I move to demographics. And my favorite source here is first-party data. So I go to the TikTok Creator Marketplace or the Meta Creator Marketplace. First-party data is always the best because it's coming straight from the source and not from third-party estimates. And if I can't find them there, I just ask. When I reach out about rates, I ask the creator to send me screenshots of their audience demographics straight from their account. Any serious creator has these ready to go. And this is where another red flag I see all the time shows up. Demographics that don't match the content they're posting. So someone's making content in English all about a very specific local topic. And then you look at the audience and it's 70% in a country you don't even ship to. That's not a creator problem, but it's your problem because you're about to pay for an audience that can't even buy your product. Next, you need to look at the track record. I check if they've worked with competitors or with other similar products, and I look at how that content actually performed. That tells me a ton. And one trick I always use is comparing their sponsored content to their non-sponsored content. You want to make sure that sponsored videos are performing similarly to organic videos. If their normal videos are doing great and their brand deals fall off a cliff, that tells you their audience doesn't trust their recommendations. And that's exactly what you'd be paying for. And then, especially if I'm working with a mega influencer or celebrity where the spend is really high, I do something really basic that people skip. Just Google their actual name. I once pulled out of a partnership with a doctor right at the contract stage. I had finished negotiating, I was about to send the contract over, and something made me Google him one last time. I found FDA warnings about him. If I hadn't done that 30-second search, I'd have signed and that would have been our brand's name sitting next to his. The bigger the creator and the bigger the budget, the more you owe it to the brand to be doing this boring background check. So that's vetting. As I said, always look at the profile and the proportion of views, their comments and whether they're in pods, their demographics from a first-party source, their track record, and their sponsored videos compared to their organic ones. And for the big ones, make sure to Google them. Now here's where it connects to the money. Let's look at how I actually price influencers. So let's go back to my $20,000 mistake. The reason that hurt is we priced him on the wrong number. We price him on subscribers and his best ever videos. But you should be pricing on what an average piece of content actually does, because that's what you're realistically buying. So the way I think about pricing now is completely backwards from how most people do it. I don't start with the creator's rate. I start with my own goal. I work backwards. Here's the logic. Based on their actual reach, how many sales can I actually expect this creator to drive? Then I take the expected number of sales and I multiply it by my goal cost per acquisition. And that gives me my maximum budget for this creator. That's the most I should be paying before the math stops making sense. That's it. Expected sales times goal cost of acquisition equals your maximum budget. If their rate comes in under that, great. If it comes way over, like my $20,000 partnership, you either negotiate or you walk. Now the honest part, the expected sales piece is where it gets tricky. And especially because pricing genuinely differs by a bunch of factors that most rate guys ignore. It differs by niche, and I mean really differs. A finance or tech creator is not priced the same way as a lifestyle creator, even at the same follower count. It differs by celebrity status. And followers still matter a little, but mostly as a way to account for the inflation that comes with status, not as the main driver. When I first started doing this, my calculator was honestly just an awkward spreadsheet I made that my team used. This was back when I was managing 4,000 influencers on one spreadsheet with a team of 4 people. So trust me, it was chaos. We'd estimate expected sales, multiply by our goal cost of acquisition, and get our max budget. It worked, but it was clunky. So I rebuilt it. I went through hundreds of partnerships, not just what I paid, but how each one performed, and turned all of that into a proper calculator. It factors in reach, celebrity status, the creator's niche, follower count for that status inflation, all of it. I put it up for free on Amplify's website so you can just use it. I'll drop the link in the description. Just put in an influencer you're working with and it'll give you a real defensible number to anchor your negotiation, instead of just staring at their rate card and guessing. Actually, let me just show you my exact workflow. So this is a creator's profile inside of Amplify. I have all of the information about that relationship, and I can actually click out into their profile to start my analysis. So let's look at this creator. We're able to go and see their reach. I always like to start by seeing their reach on their average videos, clicking into some of their videos to understand what they're posting about, what their content looks like, what their engagement looks like. And you can scroll around and really understand if your product fits well directly in their profile. I look at their content quality, the proportion of reach to their followers, and I scroll through the comments looking for pods. I then go into the creator marketplace to check for demographic mismatch. Then I come straight back into Amplify to actually see how much I should be paying this creator. So within the same profile, I'm actually able to open the rate calculator, the same one I mentioned earlier, and I'm able to analyze that creator. So this creator has 19,000 followers. Her average views were 2,000. And I can look at exactly how much I should be paying for their content based on usage rights, based on the competition, based on their reach. And then I can start negotiating based on actual numbers and not just their rates that they send me. So now I can save this to her profile. So now I have this saved in her profile, and I can actually go back to it every time the negotiation continues to make sure that the numbers are still rooted in the reality of what I expect the content to perform like. The rate calculator is built right into the same profile that I'm using for every aspect, which means I'm not jumping between 15 different tabs trying to understand how much to pay, where their negotiation stands, who the creator is. Everything is in exactly one place. That's the whole point of how I work now. Vetting and pricing are not two jobs. They're all on one screen. So real quick, before you ever agree to a number, vet on the right signals. the proportion, the comments, the demographic, the track record, then price backwards from your goal expected sales times your goal cost of acquisition. And if you want a shortcut, that free rate calculator is linked below. If this saved you from your own $20,000 mistake, subscribe, because the next video is all about how I actually find these creators in the first place, the exact way I source influencers worth pricing. See you there!